In this 20-point game test, we're trying out a potential setup change, the ambush deployment. Does it work? Is it overpowered? Let's find out. We'd really like your comments as we refine our rules. We need your help to build a better game. The Russians win the role for primary player. In a typical game, each player deploys their army in their deployment zone. That's within 6 squares of their starting board edge. In this 20-point game test, we'll be exploring a new deployment type called ambush. The primary player will wait to deploy their entire force until round 1. This is very similar to coming in from reserves from several other board games. They'll also expand their deployment zone from 6 squares to 17 squares. That's halfway across the board. Is this unbalanced? Let's see. The Americans are set up. They've got a total of 8 game pieces that they've got to try to get across the board. The National Guardsmen have 6 pieces. They are going to embark in this building, then switch over and embark into that building and try to make it all the way across the game board. The Bulldog is going to attempt to go from here, behind this building, and then whichever path is better for it to go forward and across the game board. The 8th piece that the Americans have is the pilot inside the Bulldog that's off the side of the table here. The Russians have 6 game pieces. They have their Viper, the Viper's pilot, and 4 Ratnik soldiers. They will deploy on turn 1. The Ratnik soldiers have an initiative of 15. They'll move first. Our minigunner will be deployed there. He will attempt to shoot at the Javelin missile launcher. He has 3 shots. He has a 5 aim, and the Javelin missile launcher has 2 cover because we can't see 2 of his corners. So he needs a 7 to hit. 2, second shot, 9. So the Javelin missile launcher takes 2 damage. He only has 1, so he's removed from the game. The minigunner has another shot left, so he will change targets and shoot at the machine gunner. And he gets a 5, so he misses. Then we will deploy our rifleman. The rifleman gets 1 shot. He has an aim of 3. He can see 3 of the corners, so the machine gunner gets a cover of 1. The rifleman's rifle is out of range, so he's going to have to shoot with his grenade launcher. His grenade launcher has an aim of 7, and the machine gunner has a cover of 1, so he'll need an 8. And gets a 4, so he misses. Both of these figures will 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 will move towards this building, and they'll attempt to board that building next round. Next, the breacher will deploy. He'll be shooting at this rifleman. He can't see 2 of the corners, so the rifleman will get a cover of 2. The breacher will also have to shoot with his grenade launcher because he's out of range with his rifle. He's got an aim of 6 plus the 2 cover, so he's going to need an 8. Gets a 7, so he misses. And then the squad leader will do the same. He has a aim of 4 plus the 2 cover, he needs a 6 and gets a 2. Both of these will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, so that they can enter that building in the next round. Next, the National Guardsmen have initiative of 14, so they will embark in this building. Because they embarked, they can't attack at the end of this round. With an initiative of 4, the Bulldog moves next. It will move 1, 2, 3, and it can see all 4 corners of the squad leader, so it will fire on the squad leader. It has a rocket pod with an aim of 4 and a damage of 3, so it needs a 4, and it gets a 1. And it has a laser gun with a damage of 2 and an aim of 4, so it needs a 4, and it gets a 1. It will then continue moving. With an initiative of 2, the last game piece to move this round is the Viper. It will deploy right here. And then it has a movement of 10. So we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are now looks like we need to go 6. We now have line of sight, just barely. We can see this one corner. We can't see the other 3 corners. So the Bulldog will get 3 cover. The rail gun has an aim of 4. So with 3 cover, it's going to need a 7 to hit. 3, so it misses. And then we will move 1, 2, off to the side like that. It's the top of round 2. The Ratnik soldiers have initiative of 15, so they move first. They can only see 1 corner, so the Bulldog will get 3 cover. They'll be firing at the Bulldog with their grenade launcher. The grenade launcher is at long range, so we'll add another 2 cover for a total of 5. The grenade launcher on the generic soldier has a 7, plus 5 is 12, can't go more than 10, so he'll need a natural 10. Miss. He'll then go 1, 2, 3, 4 and embark in this building. Then comes our minigunner, 1, 2, 3, and he can only get to here, 4. So he's going to have to stay outside because he only has a movement of 4, so he can't make it into the building this round. Next, we have these 2 units. They really, let's see. I guess they can see this back corner of the Bulldog, so they just barely get a shot off. Again, they'll be shooting with the grenade launcher. They have 6, so with 3 cover, they will need 9. Gets a 1, and then he will embark in this building, and then this unit will move to this way, make the same shot. He has a 4, so he'll need a 7. Gets a 2, and then he'll embark in this building. It's the National Guardsman turn next. The Ratnik minigunner was unable to get into the building, so this is an opportunity for the National Guardsman to take him out. So, first, Corporal Kelly with his machine gun, he gets 3 shots. He has an aim of 6. They can see all 4 corners and they're in optimal range, so he needs 6s. Didn't get any. Next, Sergeant Snell, the squad leader, he's got an aim of 4. Gets 3. Then we've got our 2 regular riflemen, Private Chen with an aim of 6. Gets a 4. And Private Mallory with an aim of 6. And gets a 2. Man, these guys can't roll dice for crap. Next is the Bulldog to move. He will move 1, 2, 3. You can see that back corner of the Viper. The Viper will get 3 cover. Bulldog will fire with its rocket pod. Aim of 4, 3 cover. It needs a 7. Gets a 4. Laser gun also needs a 7. Gets a 3. Man, everybody's missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I'll put it right there. The last piece to move here in round 2 is going to be the Viper. Next round, these units are going to be able to take pot shots over here, so we want to get him out of range of them. We'd also like to be able to hopefully get a shot off here. So I think I'm going to be moving this way. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got line of sight there. 3 cover with a aim of 4. Needs a 7 to hit with the railgun. Gets a 4. Misses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. Okay, the top of round 3. The Ratnik soldiers are the first ones to move. First thing we'll do is we will fire with our minigunner into this building, not at the people, but at the building itself. So our minigunner can see all 4 corners and has an aim of 5. So he needs 5s. Gets a 9, a 9, and a 10. So all 3 hits. Every one of them does 2 damage for a total of 6 damage to this building. He will then embark into the building with his buddies. These other 3 now can just barely see this back corner. So they're going to fire at him with their grenade launchers. So our breacher needs a 6 plus 3, 9, gets an 8. Our squad leader has a 4 aim plus 3, so he needs a 7. Gets a 9, so the Bulldog takes another 2 damage. And lastly, the regular rifleman has a 7 plus 3. He needs a natural 10. He gets a 9. The next to go are the National Guardsmen. First, we'll talk about Private Lewis. Private Lewis has a grenade, a hand grenade. It has a minimum range of 4, maximum range of 8. The distance from this building to this building is 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's okay. He can fire at that building. So he's going to throw his grenade at that building. He's got a aim of 3 and a damage of 2 if he can hit. So he needs a 3. Gets a 1. Man, these dice rolls are horrible. All right, the next one to fire is going to be Corporal Kelly, the machine gunner. Kelly has an aim of 6, and he has 3 shots. The Viper across the board is at long range. He can only see 2 of the corners, so the Viper will be getting 2 cover, plus 2 because Kelly's at long range, so 4. With the aim of 6, he's going to need 10s. 3 shots. None of them hit. The other guys don't have the ability to reach the Viper or the firepower to damage this building. The buildings all have armor 1. So if you have a weapon that only does 1, it can't damage it. The other units have rifles that only do 1 damage, so they're not going to be able to do anything this turn. Next, the Bulldog will move. The Bulldog has a speed of 9. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can see 2 corners, so the Viper will get a 2 save. Both of the Bulldog's weapons have an aim of 4, so plus 2, you will need a 6. Here's the 3-point rocket plod. Gets a 2. The 2-point laser gun gets a 4. Man, we can't hit anything to save our life. We still have 1 more move left, so we'll scoot 1 back this way to make it harder for the Viper to hit us. Last to move is the Viper. The Viper has a speed of 10. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See 1, can see 2, we can see 2. Well, let's just do it. 7, we'll go 7. Nah, go 8. Okay, so now we can, 9, 10. So you have to be a minimum range of 4 to use the railgun. So we've got to back away so that we can actually fire it. But now we can see all 4 corners, so it doesn't get any cover. We need a 4 to hit. 2. This is amazing. All right. Ratnik soldiers move first. The machine gunner for the Ratnik soldiers will fire. Needs a 5. You got 1, so the building suffers another 2 damage. Now, the National Guardsmen are going to go. So first, the Grenader is going to throw his grenade back that way. Lewis has an aim of 3. He can see all 4 corners, so he needs a 3. Gets a 4. So this building that the Ratniks are in is taking 2 damage now. The other units in the National Guard can't really do any damage to that building. I'm going to just have the National Guardsmen sit tight. Otherwise, if they start trying to run across the board, they're going to get shot up. So that'll end their turn. Okay, the Bulldog can fire at the Viper without moving. First, it will fire its rocket pod with an aim of 4. It needs a 4. Gets a 9, so it hits. Then it will fire its laser gun. It also needs a 4 and gets a 10. So it also hits. So finally we got some hits going on. The Viper will take 5 points of damage. It loses its machine gun, but it still has that nasty railgun. So Bulldog needs to run away. And it's got a speed of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I think we're only going to move 8 because we don't want to give the Ratnik soldiers the ability to shoot at us over here. Last, the Viper will move. We need to get that Bulldog out of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can now see all four corners. It has an aim of 4, so it needs a 4 to hit with its railgun. Gets a 3. Man, this is horrible. Ratnik soldiers move first at the top of the round. Even though I ducked the bulldog back a little bit, it looks like I only really hid one corner, so it's only going to get one cover. So first our minigunner, that's 2 hits for 4 damage. Then the other 3 units have grenade launchers. The regular rifleman has an aim of 7, so he needs an 8. Gets it. The leader has 4, so he needs a 5. Misses. And the breacher has a 6, so he needs a 7. 2. Misses. So, Bulldog takes 2 more damage. Next are our National Guardsmen. Again, we'll have Private Lewis throw a grenade at the building. Has an aim of 3, needs a 3, gets a 9, so the building takes another 2 damage. The rest of the units really don't have anything that they can do. It's too bad that we lost that javelin at the very beginning, because that javelin would be able to really do some damage. But we don't have it, so that'll end the round for the National Guardsmen. Bulldogs next. Can't see the 2 corners of the Viper, so the Viper will get 2 cover. So instead of having a 4, we need 6s. The aim 4 plus 2, 6s. Here's the 3-point rocket launcher. Miss. We then need to get out of here so we're not taking more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can't go 9 because we are damaged. Then the Viper will move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see all 4 corners. Has an aim of 4, so it needs a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 away, so it's in range. Gets a 1. Boy, the Russians are just rolling bad today. Top of the next round, Ratnik's turn. So when you're inside of a obstacle, you can measure from any corner on that obstacle. So if we move forward in this building, we can see all 4 corners of the Bulldog. So here's our minigunner. He misses. Then we need to shoot with our rifleman. 7. Got a 4. Our leader, we need a 4. Got a 7, so that's 2 more damage. And then our breacher with the shield, we need a 6. We get a 5. So that's the end of the Ratnik's turn. Now the National Guardsmen. Again, Private Lewis throwing a grenade at the building. Needs a 3, gets 3. 2 more damage to the building. Again, the rest of the soldiers don't have weapons that can damage the building, and they can't reach anything over here, so they're going to sit tight for the rest of the round. It's now the Bulldog's turn. The Bulldog can see all four corners of the Viper, so it needs 4s. The laser gun was damaged, so it only has the rocket pod left. So 4 to hit, gets a 4. So Viper takes 3 damage. Then going to get out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When the Viper was hit last turn, the Bulldog's turn, the reactor overload was hit. So we didn't roll for that then. Let's roll for it now. It's a 5. So that means that 5 rounds from now, the Bulldog will blow up. It's now the Bulldog's turn. We need to try to finish off the Bulldog. Move forward 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 away. So that gets us within optimal range. You can see all 4 corners, so the Bulldog doesn't get any cover. Firing the railgun, we need a 4. We get an 8. So the Bulldog does 6 points of, the Viper does 6 points of damage to the Bulldog, which defeats it. We now need to roll reactor overload for the Bulldog. It gets a 2. That will count down to a 1 at the end of this round, which is just about now, which means that that's going to blow up. So we'll immediately go into the end step. In the end step, both of these counters count down. Because this went to a 1, this immediately blows up. The pilot inside does not have the ability to get out and run because it's not their turn yet. Had this been one longer turn, the pilot may have been able to get out and run away, and we would still have that game piece. But when this blows, comes off the board, the Russian player collects 2 of the markers, 1 for the pilot and 1 for the Bulldog. Well, the game is technically not over. I'm going to stop it there. For the Americans to win, they'd have to get all 5 National Guardsmen safely across the board. If they run from the building, the Ratniks will have about 2 to 3 rounds to shoot at them. If the Guardsmen try to board the building, the Ratniks are in. The Ratniks will have 2 rounds of shooting before the Guardsmen get to shoot. The Russians only need to defeat 2 Guardsmen to win. In Incursion America, there's not a maximum number of rounds like there is in Warhammer 40k or Legion. The Americans could decide to sit tight in the building forever. That seems to be a problem. We may have to add a maximum number of rounds or time limits to the game. What do you think? Should there be? One of the objectives of this new deployment is to jumpstart combat. Many times in a game it'll be round 2 or even 3 before they're shooting. That worked. We had attacks on round 1. Not related to the objective of this game test, but we had a ton of dice roll misses in this game. Currently, there's no reroll game mechanic. Do you think there should be a reroll mechanic, like there is in Legion? Please answer in the comments below. One other thing that could have changed the outcome of the game. When we set up the Americans, the Javelin missile launcher should have been placed in the center of the group of National Guardsmen to protect it. It can fire one missile and do 10 damage at long range. It was probably the most important personnel for the Americans, and because we set up poorly, we lost it right away. That could have shifted the game. Another mistake I made was placing the Ratnik soldiers in this building. Their grenade launchers have a minimum range of 8. These two buildings are only 4 away from each other. If I'd put the Ratniks further away, they could have leveled the Guardsmen's building and flushed them out. If you'd like updates on our Kickstarter, please follow the link in the description below and subscribe to our newsletter. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment below. We need your help to build a better game.